This segment of DelmarvaLife is brought to you by Delaware Electric Cooperative.
Never touch a down power line. If you have an outage, report it. These are warnings we're used to hearing from Delaware Electric Cooperative. Here's one, though, you may not have heard as much, but is as equally as important.
Here it is. Don't plant or place anything around a transformer, even though you may want to hide or cover them up. That could impede crews from doing the jobs. DelmarvaLife's Katie Zerilli explains.
There's something so aesthetically pleasing about a beautifully landscaped lawn. The well-kept grass, the brightly colored blooms, the stones set perfectly in place. Not necessarily mentioned as part of that list, a transformer.
It is an eyesore, and we understand that, and we get that this is a big green box in front of your house and you want to cover it up.
However, Delaware Electric Co-op is pleading with folks not to do so. Planting shrubs, bushes, trees, or flowers around these boxes or pad mount gears will be a huge hindrance on crews trying to do their jobs.
When people are planting in front of those pad mount gears, it is a big impedance to our line crew actually getting in there and doing their job safely. So all of our pad mount gears, they have a sticker on front that says, look, we need 10 feet in front, we need 5 feet on the sides and the back so our crews can safely get in there, open up the device, and use an insulated stick that's 8 feet long to pull and close in as needed.
The general rule is not to place anything within 10 feet of its front and 5 feet of its sides. Vice President of Operations Jesse Spampanato says it comes down to both safety and reliability. They can't restore power if they can't access, or better yet, find the box.
And as they're going down the road at 2 in the morning or so trying to find it, then they look to the right and left to say, where is this thing? And it's covered by a big bush. So then our crews have to make a decision. Do we chop down the bush, which is what they have to do sometimes, and then leave it for our members to clean up, which nobody's happy about. But if we have a lot of people out of power, that's their choice.
Obviously, that's not a decision they want to make. Folks putting up fences near these boxes can cause an even bigger headache.
The way these gear opens is they actually are on a hinge at the top, and the newer styles, and they hinge up, which means if you put a fence in front of our gear, one, we won't be able to access it, and then two, if we try to open it, we're going to have to remove your fence. And then you were talking about a lot more money and a lot more effort to do it.
Folks also are not permitted to paint these boxes, and Jesse strongly urges parents to not allow kids to play on or around them.
You have 7,200 volts that is hitting that for a single phase transformer, 7,200 volts. And in that transformer is windings that convert it from the 7,200 volts to a house service. So your house is 120 240, or it's 110 220 for your electrician. So it converts it. So in that is a lot of energy it's in that box that if it were actually to open up and to make improper contact, it could kill you.
All right, this here is Phil Collison. He is a training supervisor, and Phil's gonna show us why you guys actually do need 10 feet.
Right.
Here. So there you go, you're opening it. So walk me through what you're doing here, Phil.
So I want to test this piece of wire. So I need to take my shotgun extendo stick, insulated stick, and pull this piece of wire off the transformer so I can test it.
Oh wow, okay.
So then I would take another piece of equipment, test this piece of wire if it's good or bad for an outage that could have been happening in this development or for whatever.
Gotcha.
But we have other testing equipment that we would use to test this wire, make sure it's good or bad. Perfect. But we have to use sticks like this to do it.
So you can stay away.
So we can stay away from, yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So what would it be like for you if there was vegetation all around here?
I'm struggling fighting vegetation, getting on my sleeves, you know, possibly poking a hole in those, or just being able to see or maneuver myself around.
Yeah, it's probably not a good time.
Not a good time at all.
Folks may wonder, why now? Really though, this request is nothing new.
This has really always been an issue. We've always done this on a case-by-case basis, on an as-needed basis, and we hear from our line crew saying, I had a belly crawl just to get to a transformer, just to restore power. it's not safe for our guys. So we're taking a more proactive approach now.
Of course, this doesn't mean outages won't happen, but it does ensure that if and when they do, these crews can work as quickly as possible.
Now, we will never guarantee you won't be out of power, but then if you do go out of power, we have a huge pride in restoring power as fast as possible. It's one of the wonderful things about the co-op, is that we can restore power very fast. On average, 62 minutes or so to get you, if you're out of power, and report it to get you back on, including ride time to get there.
Thus, playing by the rules is worth it, so you and others around you can power your homes and, in turn, your lives.
DEC is also responsible for the maintenance of these boxes, so if you see rust or holes develop, don't try to fix it yourself. Contact the co-op.
All great advice right there.
Yeah, I didn't know about the planting.
Didn't know about the planting either, that's for sure.